In 1971, a man walked into an airport and committed one of the most mysterious crimes in history. He boarded a plane, demanded ransom money, jumped out in the middle of the night, and disappeared forever. To this day, no one knows who he really was. This is the mystery of D.B. Cooper. On November 24, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving, a man bought a one-way ticket at Portland International Airport. He used the name Dan Cooper. He was described as being in his mid-40s, wearing a dark suit, black tie, white shirt, and sunglasses. Nothing about him seemed unusual. He boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305, which was traveling from Portland to Seattle. The flight was short and carried only 36 passengers. Shortly after takeoff, the man handed a note to a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. At first, she thought he was trying to flirt with her and placed the note in her purse without reading it. Then the man leaned toward her and quietly said, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." The note demanded money. When Florence sat beside him, he opened his briefcase just enough for her to see what looked like several sticks of dynamite attached to wires. The man calmly explained his demands. He wanted $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready when the plane landed in Seattle. The pilots contacted air traffic control, and soon the FBI became involved. Authorities decided to cooperate. They did not want to risk the lives of the passengers. While the plane circled in the air to give officials time to gather the money and parachutes, D.B. Cooper remained calm. He even ordered a drink, smoked cigarettes, and acted polite toward the crew. Passengers later said he did not seem angry or nervous. He looked more like an ordinary businessman than a criminal. When the plane finally landed in Seattle, Cooper allowed the passengers to leave. He kept only the pilot, co-pilot, flight engineer, and 1 flight attendant on board. The ransom money and parachutes were delivered. Then Cooper ordered the plane to take off again. This time, he instructed the pilots to fly toward Mexico City. He demanded that the plane fly low, around 10,000 feet above the ground, with its landing gear partly down and at a slower speed than normal. The weather outside was terrible. It was dark, cold, rainy, and windy. At some point during the flight, Cooper moved to the back of the plane. He tied the ransom money to himself. Then, around 8 p.m., somewhere over the forests of the Pacific Northwest, he lowered the rear staircase of the aircraft. A warning light appeared in the cockpit, showing that the back stairs had been opened. A few minutes later, the crew felt a sudden change in the plane's balance. D.B. Cooper had jumped. When the plane landed later that night, he was gone. So was the money. The FBI launched one of the largest investigations in its history. Agents searched forests, rivers, mountains, and fields. They examined fingerprints, sketches, clothing, and even the black clip-on tie Cooper had left behind. But no body was ever found, no parachute was found, and no confirmed trace of Cooper was discovered. Years later, in 1980, an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram found part of the ransom money buried along the banks of the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched the money given to Cooper, but investigators still could not explain how it got there. Did Cooper survive the jump? Did he land safely and escape? Or did he die in the wilderness, with most of the money never to be found? Over the years, many theories have appeared. Some people believe Cooper was a trained military paratrooper. Others think he was an airline employee because of how much he knew about airplanes. Some believe he died during the jump because the conditions were so dangerous. There are even people who think Cooper started a new life under a different name. The case became so famous that it inspired movies, books, TV shows, and endless conspiracy theories. In fact, D.B. Cooper wasn't even the hijacker's real name.
It came from a newspaper mistake during the investigation, but the name stayed forever. In 2016, after 45 years of investigation, the FBI officially closed the case. Even so, people are still fascinated by the mystery, because somewhere in the dark forests of the Pacific Northwest, the truth about D.B. Cooper may still be hidden. Was he a criminal mastermind who escaped into history? Or was he simply a man who disappeared into the storm and never made it out alive? No one knows. And that is what makes the mystery of D.B. Cooper one of the most fascinating unsolved cases of all time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more mysterious stories and unsolved cases.